Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and in today's video What? Hello?
Hello, is this the Chicken Ninja?
Yeah? Wait, what? Who are you?
It's me, Mappet from the game Theory.
Okay, how did you get my phone number, and why are you calling me?
Because Chicken Ninja, the people want NAFTA without using the lights.
What? I'm not gonna do that.
Listen, you have to do it or else.
Or else what? You're not gonna do anything.
Or else I will make a game theory on why you get absolutely no.
What are you even talking about? There's literally no point, like, what are you even doing?
I'll also make one on why you are a stupid dumb. This is because scientifically you.
Okay, I'll do it. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I escaped the insane asylum that they tried to put me in. And I'm back with a vengeance to kill some quirky animatronics without raising my electrical bill. That's right, we're of course beating Five Nights at Freddy's 2 without using the lights. Right now you're probably thinking to yourself, only a madman would attempt this challenge. And you're right. As you can guess, the rules for this challenge are pretty simple. We're gonna attempt to beat the entirety of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 without using any lights. What exactly counts as using a light? I'm not telling you. That's for later in the video. So without further ado, let's just get straight into the challenge. But before we can actually start, I'm gonna do a quick gameplay explanation. Again, if you've already played this game or you've seen somebody else play it, then you can skip to the timestamp on screen. But if you feel like being nice and, you know, maybe giving me some extra watch time, or you have absolutely no idea what's going on, listen up because I'm gonna explain it. So, believe it or not, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is a lot like Five Nights at Freddy's 1. You play as a security guard for a pizzeria. Your job is to survive from 12 to 6 a.m., which is 6 minutes and 48 seconds in real time. And to do this, you need to protect yourself from the massive amount of animatronics trying to kill you. Much like the first game, you have a camera system which you can use to keep track of all the animatronics. But what you might have noticed is that this time, we do not have any doors. Luckily, we are given two things to help us survive, the first thing being a Freddy Fazbear mask. This mask can be used to fool the animatronics that get into our room into thinking that we are an animatronic, which will make them leave. And the next thing is a flashlight, which we're obviously going to talk about later. A lot of the animatronics have very specific ways to get rid of them, but I'm going to talk about those later when they're actually relevant. The one thing I'm going to talk about now, though, is the music box. The music box is used to keep one of the animatronics tame. That animatronic is the marionette. Over time, the meter on the music box will slowly go down, and your job is to rewind the music box remotely from your cameras. If you don't do this and the meter runs all the way out, then you die. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to be talking about anything else that's relevant in the next nights, so let's get into night 1. That's right, guess what we get to do in night 1? Absolutely nothing.
I even attempted to get into his office. Now, from what we know, that should
On night 1 from 12 to 2 a.m., no animatronic is allowed to move. And to make this even better, the meter on the music box won't actually go down. So there is literally nothing that we have to worry about. So what am I going to do during the downtime between 12 to 2? I'm going to tell you about today's sponsor. I'm kidding. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to quickly explain the AI of this game and how animatronics move. I'm not going to go as in-depth as I did in my first video, so if you want to see an in-depth analysis on the AI, go check out my first video that I did. Alright, to start off the night, every single animatronic is given an AI difficulty. This number ranges from 1 to 20 and will change throughout the night, but that doesn't really matter. Every few seconds, there's a chance for any of the animatronics to move. Once the movement opportunity has occurred, the game's going to choose a random number between 1 and 20. Then they'll compare this number to your AI difficulty, and if the AI difficulty is greater than or equal to the randomly generated number, then the animatronic is going to move. If not, they're going to stay where they are and they're going to contemplate their life choices. And that's as easy as I can explain it. During this night, there are 3 different animatronics that we have to worry about: Toy Freddy, Toy Chica, and Toy Bonnie. Usually during a regular playthrough, you can use all 3 different types of lights to track these animatronics. The first light you can use is your flashlight. You shine this light down the hallway in front of you to see any incoming animatronics. Almost every single animatronic will appear in the hallway, but only 2 will actually come through the hallway. Those 2 being Toy Freddy and Withered Freddy. The rest of them are going to go to the adjacent party rooms and go into one of the vents. If an animatronic is in one of these party rooms, you can open up your camera system and use the camera lights to see if they're actually in there. This is super useful because it allows you to actually see where the animatronics are. If you don't use this, then there's pretty much no use to the cameras because you can't see anything. The third and final light are the vent lights. These are used to see if an animatronic is actually ready to kill you. These are a lot like the door lights in FNAF 1. They tell you if an animatronic is ready to attack or not, and if they are, then you just put on your mask and then they'll leave. So in terms of what lights we're going to be using for night 1, none of them. Like I said, the only active animatronics in this night are Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, and Toy Chica. All of these animatronics can be dealt with by using the Freddy mask, so all I'm going to do is switch between winding up the music box and putting on my Freddy mask, and that's pretty much it. There's a lot of things that I tried out specifically for this challenge, but they become more relevant in later nights, so I'm going to talk about them then. And other than that, I don't have much to say about this night. It's really just me sitting in my mask until I have to wind up the music box, and that's it. Hey, did you see the intro card? Now we have 3 more animatronics to deal with. There's 2 really big changes in this challenge during this night, and the first one's pretty obvious. It's this piece of shit. If you didn't know already, Withered Foxy is the only animatronic in the entire game that can't be fooled by the mask. You wanna know how to get rid of him? The freaking flashlight! Yeah, my control key it's sad. How does Foxy work, you may be asking? I'm not 100% sure, but I think I know. It uses the exact same movement opportunity as the regular animatronics that I talked about in night 1. The only difference is that there's a counter that starts at 50 and slowly goes down to 0. If this number hits 0 and he has a successful movement opportunity, then you're dead. The way to combat this is by using your flashlight. Every single time you use your flashlight, the counter is reset to 50 and he can't kill you. So what does that mean for this challenge? Hello everybody, welcome back to Five Nights at Freddy's 2 without using the lights, but we use the flashlight. I'm your host, Chicken Ninja 42, and today we're going to be looking at angry comments from 6-year-olds because I use the flashlight. But all jokes aside, I use the flashlight. The only reason is because this challenge would be purely impossible without using the flashlight. But the flashlight was the only exception I was willing to make. I'm still not going to be using any camera lights or vent lights throughout this entire challenge. And if you think adding the ability to use the flashlight is going to make this challenge any bit easier, yeah, you're wrong. But now that I'm done rambling on about Foxy, it's about time we start talking about the vents themselves. In this night, we have 4 different vent animatronics: Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, Balloon Boy, and Mangle. I'll be talking about each of these animatronics individually, starting with Toy Bonnie. To show you the movement patterns of every single animatronic, I got this very confusing map off Google. As you can hopefully see, Toy Bonnie goes from the show stage to the main hall, and then he can either go into party room 4 or 3. From there, he can go into party room 2, which is connected to our right vent. And obviously, this is the vent that he goes through. Once he enters the vent, we'll be able to see him on the camera. After another successful movement, he'll be in his kill stage. To avoid the jump scare, we need to put on our mask and wait for him to go across the screen. Once he disappears from our screen, we're safe and we can go back to normal. The next animatronic, Toy Chica, is literally the exact same as Bonnie, but on the left side. The only 2 differences being that you can see her character model down the hallway, and also once Toy Chica is in her kill stage, she won't do the same animation as Bonnie. Instead of moving across the screen, once you put your mask down for a while, then she'll just go back to the show stage. The way that I knew these 2 were in the vent without using my lights was through this noise. This noise plays whenever an animatronic enters a vent. So if I heard this noise at least 2 times, then that means there was 2 movement opportunities in the vent, which means they could be in their kill stage. So I would keep my mask down for a while, and if I saw Bonnie go across the screen, then I knew it was Bonnie. And if I heard the same noise play a while after I had my mask down, then it was most likely Chica returning to the show stage. The next animatronic I want to talk about is Mangle. Mangle has the exact same movement patterns as Toy Bonnie, the only differences being that instead of starting off in the show stage, Mangle starts off in Kids Cove. And also you can see Mangle down the hallway unlike Toy Bonnie. Mango will play the exact same vent noise when she goes into the vent, but once she's in her kill stage, she'll play this noise instead. This is how I knew she was in her kill stage. When I heard that noise, I would put on my mask and keep it on until the noise stopped and I heard a vent noise. Then I knew it was safe to take the mask off. Alright, now the final one we have to talk about is Balloon Boy. Balloon Boy doesn't even know how to spell the word movement. He starts off in the game room camera, and then once he has a successful movement opportunity, he jumps directly to our vent camera. We know he's in the vent once a vent noise plays and one of these 3 sound effects plays.
Hi. Hello.
And again, after we've heard 2 vent noises and 2 of those sound effects, he's most likely in his quote-unquote kill stage. He can't actually kill us, he just deactivates our flashlight and assists in our murder. And that's pretty much it. These vent animatronics are the biggest reason why we die in these nights. Since there's 4 different animatronics, all the vent clanging can get really confusing. The other 2 animatronics, Freddy and Foxy, we don't really have to worry about. Their AI levels are so low that we barely even see them throughout the night. And there we go, bada bing bada boom. That was only night 2, oh my god. Night 3 is where everything that can go bad does go bad. There's 2 more animatronics, a way more aggressive Foxy and Puppet, and there's also a lot more feces in my pants. In this night, we of course have to talk about the withered animatronics. We were introduced to withered Foxy last night, but in this night, we're introduced to 3 more. Withered Freddy, withered Bonnie, and withered Chica. I'm not going to be explaining the movement patterns anymore because they're all really simple. They all start off in parts and service. Withered Freddy's gonna get into our room through the hallway, Withered Bonnie's gonna get in through the left vent, and Withered Chica's gonna get in through the right vent. Basically, Withered Freddy works the exact same as Toy Freddy, and Withered Chica and Withered Bonnie switch vents compared to Toy Chica and Toy Bonnie. That's how they get to our room to kill us, but we kinda don't want that, so how do we get rid of them? There's gotta be some super cool sound effect that plays only for the withered animatronics. No. Like I said, Withered Freddy works the exact same as Toy Freddy, so you can see him down the hallway and he'll slowly get closer until he actually enters the room to try and jump scare you. Once he's in the room, you obviously put on the mask, or you at least try to. Bro, what the f was that, bro? God damn it, bro! For anybody wondering what happened there, I was trying to put on the mask, but since I had just put down the camera, the mask button wasn't actually on the screen. So when I tried to flick it down, it wasn't there, and the button wouldn't load in because my mouse was already on the spot. And that's all Withered Freddy does. He's really easy because he's one of the only animatronics that we can actually see. Whenever we put our camera down, we just want to make sure we put our mask down as well. And if he spawns in our office, then we already have our mask on. And that's definitely not the case for the other 2. Withered Chica and Withered Bonnie are seriously one of the biggest problems in this challenge. Withered Chica and Withered Bonnie work the exact same as Toy Bonnie. Once they're in the vent and they have one more successful movement opportunity, they'll be in their kill phase. One more movement after that and they'll automatically be in our room. If our camera's up while they come into our room, the camera will automatically close and we'll be forced to put on our mask. If we don't put on the mask in time, well, you know. One thing I learned is that you can't actually take off your mask during this animation. Knowing this, whenever one of them came into my room, I would put on my mask and hold my mouse over top of the mask button. This meant that the game knew I wanted to take off my mask but wouldn't let me, so right when I'm able to, it takes it off for me. Now, explaining all of this, it sounds really easy, and it would be if it weren't for the one thing I mentioned earlier. Unlike Balloon Boy and Mangled, there's no specific sounds when these 2 enter my vent. That means that this one noise is used for when these 5 enter my vent, these 4 go into their attack phase, these 4 when they actually attack, and all vent animatronics when they leave. I feel like this one clip encapsulates this entire problem perfectly. Bro, there's so much noise, I don't even know what's happening anymore. In the span of 25 seconds, there were 4 different vent noises that played, and just to remind you, it could be this many noises. So to say that this night was extremely easy would be stupid, and if you say that, I'll slap you. But I don't want to make this seem like a very big deal because we have a lot more nights left. We're almost at the end of the week, but night 4 is not easy. If you notice from the intro card, last night the highest AI difficulty an animatronic had was 3, and now we have animatronics up to 7. And it's convenient because the one with the highest difficulty is our biggest problem. I'm of course talking about Withered Foxy. He may or may not have been the source of the problem during this night, maybe like a few times. I was literally about to bring it up. You literally saw me. I was literally about to flick down to bring it up and flash it. What? What am I supposed to do? I can't do anything. The problem is there's so many vent animatronics that I wanted to be in the mask as much as possible. And obviously, when I'm wearing the mask, Withered Foxy is not a big fan of us. This night was looking like it was going to be a massive struggle, but then I found the secret. You. You better be gone. If you... Okay, 20. Just to make sure this actually works, I tried it again. Wait, does that actually... No way. It's 20. And, you know, third time's the charm. Is he gonna be gone? It's 20. It's 20. That was it. 20 flashlight flashes and Foxy would just disappear. And that was one of our problems solved. We couldn't die to Foxy if he was just never there. And the other problem is pretty obvious. We have 5 vent animatronics in this night that pretty much make the exact same noise. Toy Bonnie has the lowest AI difficulty of all of them at a level 1. If we get lucky enough, then he literally won't show up throughout the entire night, and that's what we were hoping for. The next animatronic, Balloon Boy, who has a level of 3, is the bane of my existence. Since Withered Foxy has the highest AI difficulty we've seen so far, Balloon Boy deactivating my flashlight is literally the worst thing that could happen. Withered Chica and Withered Bonnie both have an AI difficulty of 4 towards the end of the night, but they're super easy to deal with as long as we put our mask down right when we close the camera. And that, of course, just leaves Mangle with an AI difficulty of 5. With such a high difficulty, you would expect her to be the biggest problem in this night, but she actually wasn't. This is because of what I mentioned earlier. Whenever she's going to attack, she plays a sound effect that is exclusive to only her. So whenever I heard that sound effect, again, it's this one, I would just put my mask on and keep it on until I didn't hear that noise anymore, because that meant she left my vent. That's generally how I would get rid of all those animatronics, but sadly, that's not how it's gonna work anymore. Yup, the AI's in double digits now. This is where it starts to get real. By now, I've explained everything that I actually wanted to, so during this night, I'm just gonna talk about everything that happened. Think of it as me almost commentating over the night, but also not. The footage you're watching right now is of the winning attempt. I had a lot of failed attempts, but I'm not gonna show those completely because there's no point. That vent noise you just heard was Balloon Boy. I was assuming that he was just leaving because I had my mask on for such a long time. Yep, that noise wasn't just Balloon Boy. Alright, now we're back to the actual attempt. To start off the night, I was not going to touch anything apart from winding up the music box until I heard this noise. This meant that something entered the hallway, and it was presumably Withered Foxy, which meant I had to use the flashlight. During this first part, our biggest concern is Balloon Boy, because if you remember, his movement pattern is very, very short, meaning he can get to our office extremely fast. I lost quite a few 3 a.m., 4 a.m. runs just because of this stupid child. What? Here's that clip again. Balloon Boy was already in his attack phase, and I had my mask down for around 3.5 seconds, which I felt was long enough to have him go away, but obviously it wasn't. Here's another one for good measure. I don't know. That vent noise you just heard is again what I assumed to be Balloon Boy leaving. I had my mask down for a decent amount of time, and I thought it was enough for him to actually leave, but again, it wasn't. What? I see this face in my nightmares. When it hits 1 a.m., both Toy Bonnie and Balloon Boy's AI difficulty gets decreased, but all the withered animatronics are increased by a lot. This in turn makes the night more difficult, but it makes it less confusing. We have more aggressive and more difficult animatronics to deal with, but we don't have to guess on where vent animatronics are anymore. The only animatronics with high AI difficulties are Mangle, Withered Chica, and Withered Bonnie. Withered Chica and Withered Bonnie can easily be beaten by putting your mask down right when you put your camera down, and Mangle again has her own sound effect. Now don't get me wrong, those two animatronics are not gone. They're still here, they just have a smaller AI difficulty than the rest of the animatronics. When it hits 4 a.m., any strategy that I had, if you can even call them strategies, they're out the window. They don't exist. It literally just becomes opening my camera to wind up the music box, occasionally flashing the hallway, and any other time is spent with the mask on. I just don't know what's going on in the vents anymore. An animatronic could be in their attack phase, or they couldn't be. I have no idea. But whatever. Just for a bit of fun, I'll show you the final moments of this night. Oh, come on. Oh my god, that is painful. Oh my, all of that for $100 goddamn dollars. Perfect. We're done with this night, but the only problem is, if you know these games, we're not done. Throughout both no light challenges in the first game and this game, this night is by far the hardest thing I've ever done. If you saw on the intro card, over half of the animatronics in this night have a double-digit AI difficulty. There is one animatronic that I haven't talked about, and that's because he's basically irrelevant unless you're Matthew Patrick or you're doing the custom night. That animatronic is, of course, Withered Golden Freddy. The way his AI works is extremely confusing, and I don't really want to talk about it, but I'll try. Basically, the most simple way I can explain it, if you're not using your flashlight, he has a chance to appear in the hallway, and once you see him in the hallway, if you use your flashlight too much, he'll kill you. He can also appear in your office. Every 5 seconds, he creates a random number between 0 and 20, and again, if his AI difficulty is greater than that, then he's gonna appear. When you see him in your office, you have to put on your mask like everybody else, but you just have to do this really fast. And again, I'm pretty sure that's how he works, but I don't care, and hopefully you don't care, so let's get into the actual night. There are 3 problems with this night that I'm going to talk about each individually. The first obvious problem being Withered Foxy. He's an obvious problem because his difficulty is 15. Why are they doing this to me? And to make matters worse, our fancy 20 flashlight trick doesn't even work anymore. Most of the time, he just appears back in the hallway anyways. So instead, I created this new strategy where when he shows up, I would flash him around 10 times, and then every single time I flipped down my camera, I would flash him 2 more times. It's definitely not the best strategy, but it helped me not die, so I mean, I'll take it. Our next problem is the vent animatronics, specifically both Withered Chica and Withered Bonnie, and of course, Balloon Boy. Before we can talk about the vent animatronics, I want to talk about this really weird thing that happened. I was on my regular spree of being bad at this game and died 3 times in a row. The first time I died, I unlocked a secret minigame, which is just a really rare occurrence if you get killed. And this was pretty interesting. I walked around, saw some dead kids, and then I won. But it's what happened after this that was really interesting. The next time I died, I got another secret minigame. This one involved giving cake until some kids turned into Elmo and then one got killed. Now that's pretty crazy enough, I got back-to-back death minigames. But it's what happened after this that was even crazier. That's right, the third time I died, I got another secret minigame. This game involves giving gifts to dead children, and of course, I beat the high score and dabbed on all the dead kids. I have no idea what the odds are for getting these minigames 3 times in a row, but if you figure it out, leave a comment down below because I'd really like to see it. Alright, now we're back to complaining about vent animatronics. Whenever I put down my mask to avoid any of their attacks, my mask is down for around 5 seconds. During these 5 seconds, not only can Foxy still attack me, but also the music box still goes down. So if I get a string of bad luck where Withered Bonnie attacks, and then after I flip down my camera, Withered Chica attacks, this means that I pretty much can't wind up the music box or flash Foxy for around 10 seconds, which basically means I'm dead. And really, there's no good way to deal with this. I just tried my best to keep track of Foxy and wind up the music box when I could, and just hoped that I didn't get killed. But now we get to the problem that is specific to this challenge, Balloon Boy. This one child is the reason for me losing probably half my runs. He's extremely aggressive throughout this night with an AI difficulty of 9, but the biggest problem is his sound effects. When he enters my vent, he'll play a noise similar to this.
Hi.
And that's perfect. When he enters my vent and I hear that sound effect, then I know it's actually him in that vent. The problem becomes when he leaves my vent after failing his attack phase. If he fails an attack, instead of playing that same sound effect, he'll only play the vent sound effect. This is extremely bad because I have no way of telling if it was him failing his attack or if it was literally any other vent animatronic in the game moving around. So this led to a lot of guessing, which most of the time was very, very wrong. That noise you just heard is what I thought to be Balloon Boy leaving, and you'll soon find out it wasn't. What? I heard the noise, I thought he left, man. You are such a piece of I hate you. Okay, so it's... What the f***? He did 3 last time, and this time he did 2! Bro, I had my mask down for so long! Yeah, he is not fun. The third and final problem that I want to talk about is the music box. The music box works with the last 2 problems to make this night absolutely terrible. I want to make sure that it's constantly wound up, but since it decreases by so much, and I have to balance this with flashing Foxy and keeping my mask on forever, it's really easy to get behind on one of these 3 things, and the problem is any of these can kill me. There were so many times that the music box almost ran out. The main strategy I had was winding it up in quarters. This worked most of the time, but if the meter was really far down, I would try and charge it to at least half. And that's all I have to say about this night. It's really just about keeping your mask on for as long as possible and hoping that the animatronics aren't absolutely horrible. And yeah, enjoy the single most stressful 30 seconds of my entire life. Oh my god! Oh, that was the worst! Oh my god! Oh my... My heart rate is about 100 bajillion. And there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have officially completed Five Nights at Freddy's 2 without using the lights a single time. If you do want to see any of these nights in full, I'll be releasing a video later this week which has all of them in it. Now I am aware there is one thing I didn't do in this video, and that's of course the custom night. But since this video is already a half an hour long, I'm gonna leave it for a different video. If you do want to see me try and complete the custom night without using the lights, let me know in the comments below, and of course like the video. I don't really have much else to add. I do plan on playing the other FNAF games, so if you have any other challenges that you want to see me do in those games, or maybe another one for FNAF 1, also let me know in the comments. But as always, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.